Well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for making time in your busy schedule at the end of the day to come listen to me talk about Amazon Connect. I'm Joe Eisner. I'm the global segment lead for Amazon Connect, which is a fancy way of saying I'm the partner guy who manages our partner strategy and ecosystem for Connect. And although I'm very excited about Connect, contact center is the kind of thing where if you talk about it at a party, you find yourself alone very quickly. So hopefully you'll find it as exciting as I do. So I'd like to tell you about Connect, what it is, what the market's like for it, and why we think it's compelling as a market. Why we think it's disruptive and different from other products out there. What you can do to become a part of this ecosystem of partners that we have if you're from the partner world. If you're a customer, then hopefully you'll get something out of this as well, learning about Connect. Talk about how we can help partners. Talk about 2 customer success stories. And what I think are maybe some key takeaways from where we are and where we're going. And then be happy to answer any questions you might have in the last part of the hour. So just out of curiosity, how many people here are potential or actual customers for Connect? Oh, awesome. And how many are people who aspire to be Connect partners? Well, you guys at VoiceBase already are partners. Well, great. So I hope you all get something out of this. So does everybody know what a contact center is? Or I should say, is there anybody who doesn't know what a contact center is? Okay, good. So Amazon Connect, just a little background. Amazon Connect is the productized form of the contact center solution that Amazon built and uses for our own customer service on a daily basis with as many as 70,000 agents. So years ago, we looked at buying a solution from a vendor. This was almost 10 years ago, and we were looking for something that was completely cloud-based, as you would imagine, being AWS, that was easy to manage, to integrate to scale, and we couldn't find anything out there that fit our needs. And so, being a culture of innovators and builders, we decided to build our own. So we built Amazon Connect from scratch. And starting a couple years ago, customers started asking us, when our general manager, Pasquale De Maio, was talking to customers about other things, they kept saying, well, why don't you take your contact center solution and make it into a product? We would like to use it ourselves. And so that was really the birth of Amazon Connect as a product. And we launched Amazon Connect in March of this year at Enterprise Connect in Orlando, Florida. And the response has really been tremendous, beyond our expectations. And so, the team has been working really hard, along with our partners, to meet our customer demand and service our customers. As you know, customer satisfaction is paramount for us, and so we want to do everything possible to create the kind of customer service experience for our customers that we try to deliver to our customers at Amazon.com. So we'll talk about Amazon Connect and what it is. Basically, it's a cloud contact center solution that includes everything you would need to run a customer service operation except a headset. So you can use it with skills-based routing, which you would expect from a contact center solution. You can do call recording, all the standard functionality, real-time and historical analytics, and high-quality voice capability. Skills-based routing, maximizes the efficiency of agents and the satisfaction of customers. Calls are recorded to use to improve customer service and advance the quality of the customer interactions with agents. Basically it's at launch, it was really a voice-centric platform because we asked customers, in the spirit of our minimum viable product philosophy, what they most wanted out of a contact center solution at launch, and they said voice. So what makes Amazon Connect different? First of all, unlike any other contact center solution out there that I'm aware of, if you have an AWS ID, you can go to your console and activate an instance. And you can literally have a contact center solution up and running and receiving calls in less than 10 minutes. And that's not hyperbole. We actually have a video online on YouTube that actually shows you how to do exactly that. And because Connect comes bundled with telephony, you don't have to go to separate providers to enable that base platform to do what you need to do to receive customer calls. Of course, if you have a more sophisticated operation, a larger operation, then you need, or probably need, the assistance of partners to help create more complex routing strategies and design the IVR. But if you have a basic need for a customer service platform, you can get it running very quickly, and you don't need to go through a pre-qual process. You don't have to talk to a lot of people. You can just try it and start it and be on your way. Another thing is this idea of dynamic, personal, and natural contact flows, meaning that you can anticipate what customers are going to want a lot of times, and I'll show you a flow that shows how that works. And you can respond to what you believe the customer is likely to need. You also can, because you know information about the caller many times, you can personalize the interaction even before the caller says anything. And you can customize the interaction with the customer based on what the customer has done in the past and what you think they're going to do in the present. And this is a diagram that kind of shows you how that could work. So you get an incoming call, you have information in your CRM record, you do a number lookup and a data dip, you retrieve information about what the customer may have been doing on the enterprise's website prior to the call. And in this example, the caller, the customer, Nikki Wolf, is calling in, and using an AI powered interaction, the assistant says, I see you canceled your flight, how can I help you? And she says, I want to rebook the flight. And using Lex, you can interpret that, look for the words, understand the meaning, and you understand, using our tools, what rebook means and tomorrow means and same flight means, and you can service that customer in a much more efficient and dynamic way and give them an experience that reduces the time they have to spend engaging with you and the complexity of what they have to tell you, and just makes a much more efficient and dynamic experience. In addition, it's an open platform, and what that means is that it's very easy to integrate Connect with third-party applications and services. Unlike other platforms where there's a lot more complex integration needed, lots of people, lots of time, with Connect, it's surprisingly easy to create an ecosystem of integrated capabilities which work with Connect to do all the things you need to do to service your customers as quickly, efficiently, and easily as possible. And moreover, because the time to beta or final is much faster, you can iterate and experiment more rapidly and evolve your capabilities in a way that would be difficult or onerous with other platforms. And this just gives you an example of the kinds of things that you can integrate to Connect. Everything from workforce management to data storage to CRM, business intelligence, reporting and analytic tools. All of these things are currently in our ecosystem, as you'll see in a bit. But it's a very easy platform to integrate to. We do not try to trap your data in some proprietary walled garden. The customer's data is theirs, and we want the customer to have the ultimate freedom to do with their data as they wish. And if that means that they're using a third-party tool as opposed to something that we might provide, then that's okay. The goal is to empower the customer to get what they want so they can serve their customers in the way they want to serve them. And then, of course, we have an ecosystem within AWS of very powerful tools. Things like Lambda and Lex and Poly. We have a lot of tools which, working with Connect, can do some pretty amazing things. And we have an ecosystem of partners who can help bring about those combinations of Connect with other AWS services in any configuration that you might want to implement. And then, of course, one of the biggest differentiators, and certainly one of the things that was most disruptive when we entered the market, was this idea that you can only pay for what you use. So unlike other platforms where you have to pay a minimum annual fee or you pay for peak capacity, so let's say you have a 200 agent population, but seasonally you may only use 10, 20, or 50 of those agents, but you're still paying for the 200. With Connect, you only pay for what we call customer connected minutes, which means that if there's a customer in your telephony system, then you're paying. If there's not a customer in your system, you're not paying. So you pay per minute for what you use. You don't pay an upfront fee, there's no setup fees, there's no startup costs, there's no annual commitments, there's no minimums. You just pay for what you use. It's like flipping a light switch at home. You pay for the electricity you use, and when you turn the light switch off, you're done. And the same thing is true with Connect. And because it comes with telephony built in, the per minute price that you're paying includes everything but the headset that you need to have a contact center as a service. So again, kind of summarizing what the benefits of Connect are. Because it's self-service and it's easy to set up, it's fast to implement and deploy. We're seeing it all over the place with customers who are creating pilots and going into production at a rate that's atypical of the contact center space. I mean, when I came from a decade at another contact center company, and the rule of thumb was a couple of years for a sales purchase cycle and decision-making process. We're seeing that happen in months or a year. So a much faster implementation of Connect than is typically the case. And again, it's an easy platform to configure and set up. Of course, if you're going to more complex configurations and you have complex routing strategies and IVRs, then you need the help of partners who live and breathe contact center, like Aria and Voice Foundry, two of our leading service partners, to make that a reality. And again, you'll see from the partner ecosystem slides that I'll show you in a few minutes that we're only 8 or 9 months into our life as a product, and we already have a very robust ecosystem of partner integrations, as well as a number of partners who can enable and implement Connect on your behalf. And then, like I said, the data is yours, and you can access it in any way you wish. given the limits of the platform. But you can take that data and you can take it and do things with it outside of the AWS ecosystem to your heart's content. And then again, finally, the pay-as-you-go pricing model. So you only pay for what you use, and you don't pay for what you don't use, and you don't have to pay any minimums or annual fees. And our pricing is published on our website, but basically it's about 3 cents a minute. And that includes both contact center and telephony. Again, there's no hidden fees, there's no extras or asterisks. And that 3 cents a minute is true whether it's 5 minutes you use or 1 million minutes. Now, there's some variations with international, but this is for US. And again, all of the pricing is published on our website. Everything is an open kimono with Connect. We're not trying to engage you and then lower the boom and tell you that there are these other fees. It's all upfront and there for you to see. Now, of course, if you use other AWS services like S3 or Lambda or Lex, those are additional fees. But I think you'll find that you have to use an incredible amount of it for it to even go far to the left of the decimal point. And these are the countries in which we have phone numbers. This year we expanded from the US to availability zones in Sydney and Frankfurt. And there'll be more expansion to come. And then, because we want you to experience it and try it out, you're free to try it. You can get 90 minutes of usage a month. I won't go through all of this, but again, this is all published on our website. So we want you to try it and experiment with it and see what's possible. Again, you can have a basic contact center up and running and receiving calls in less than 10 minutes. And it's now HIPAA eligible and PCI compliant. So typically the adoption process, again, going back to what I said a moment ago, we see an accelerated time from initial engagement to limited or full production deployments compared to other on-prem or cloud contact center platforms. Typically, we have a cycle where customers will evaluate, connect, and think about it for, a month or less. They go into a POC planning cycle, look at where they can do a limited deployment to validate everything that we say and that they think is true about it, and then go from a limited production, maybe 50 agents or 100 agents, to full production in less than a year. And then once they've got into production and they see that it does what they think it will do and what we believe it will do, they will then adopt it across other lines of business or a broader population and expand their usage of it. So what's the opportunity from a market perspective? Basically, this isn't a very complex slide to understand. Some estimates put the contact center as a service market in 2016 at about $5.4 billion out of about, it's about 25% of the overall market as of 2016, $22 billion. And that's expected to more than triple in size by 2021. So, obviously, if you track the success of AWS in helping companies migrate from prem to the cloud and other areas, you can imagine that contact center is subject to that same kind of trend. And I think we believe that the future of contact center, not surprisingly, is in the cloud for any number of reasons. And so I believe that the future is really bright for that migration, and there's a lot of opportunity. And we're already seeing it. I mean, we're seeing based on the inbound customer interest and demand, I think that's validated that a lot of companies have been on-prem, they've been thinking about moving to the cloud, but they didn't have a vendor or provider who they felt confident enough in from a product stability and functionality perspective to make that move. And now with Connect, more customers are seeing that and feel comfortable that they can make that move without jeopardizing the quality or stability of their customer service platform that they have on-prem. So, what are some of the applications that you would see integrated to Connect that are compelling? And really, they're not that different, if different at all, from what you'd see for on-prem solutions. There are some that are different that we'll talk about, but all the usual suspects that you would think are candidates are true with Connect as they would be with other platforms. CRM, obviously, help desk, case management. And to give you an example, so case management could be, adaptive case management is an example that could be a very complex configuration with legacy platforms where you take what happens in the IVR, you capture that information, you then try to update a case, or you might want to cross-reference the case with the interaction, the session, and you have to do that a lot of times retrospectively because the platform is not sophisticated enough or dynamic enough to do it in real time. But with Connect, it's much more straightforward to integrate a case management system, like a BPM-based case management system, with the IVR and have dynamic interaction between the two systems. Case being an incident-based system of engagement and voice being a voice-based system of engagement. So with using things like Lambda, having the cross-pollination and updating of those two systems of engagement becomes much easier. Obviously with analytics and workforce optimization, both critical to the success of a contact center implementation, and then of course outbound. AI is something that that we've gotten into heavily with Connect, and you'll see a lot more about that. And obviously other vendors with other platforms would be doing that as well. From a looking forward perspective, what's coming? Well, probably not rocket science to predict that citizens with Alexa or intelligent assistants at home who've become used to the idea of speaking to their devices in a conversational manner and getting answers would start to expect that same behavior from their customer service interactions. And it's our belief that that is here and rapidly expanding over the next several years. And one of the things we really find customers delighted by is the opportunities and potential that they have using Connect to integrate with Lex so that when somebody calls in, just like Nikki Wolf did in the example I showed you a minute ago, she can say, I'd like to talk to somebody about a flight, or I'm interested in buying a car. And the system has the intelligence to understand what they're talking about, or I'd like to schedule an appointment. And instead of having to say, yes, 33665, no, option 2, they can just have a conversation. So I think that's a big thing already, but even bigger on the horizon. Same thing with the enablement of chatbots, and of course the idea again shown in the Nikki Wolf example, where you can anticipate what the customer is going to want before they say it, using information and analytical tools that are already available in the ecosystem of customer service and make it a much better customer experience. So from a partner perspective, again, we've been in market for about 8 months, and we already have, I'm very proud to say, a great ecosystem of partners. And you'll see a lot of the names here. We have even many more in the works. But going back to the kind of the Maslow's hierarchy of customer needs when they're setting up a contact center, we've got a lot of the major CRM players. 3 out of the 5 Gartner MQ leaders in the CRM space. We've got a number in incident and case management and help desk. And the workforce side, we've got a lot of the major players already. I'm sure you'll recognize a lot of these names. And also in the analytics space, we've got some really cool partners from a speech analytics perspective, from BI and visualization, call tracking analytics, anti-fraud or speaker authentication, visual IVR, outbound text messaging, scheduled callbacks, and again, many more to come. And again, it's a testament to just how straightforward integrating to Connect really is. These partners are used to spending a lot of time and effort to do integrations, and in many cases, partners are able to integrate to Connect in a couple of weeks or less, and most of that time is not actually spent on engineering, it's more scoping out what's needed to be done to integrate, or documenting the integration. But typically, you see even complex applications being able to get integrated in a few weeks, if not less. And then from a consulting partner perspective, we have a ecosystem of partners ranging from global SIs, again, to great partners in the contact center expert space like Aria and Voice Foundry. So despite, regardless of your size, we have partners who can help you implement Connect in whatever scope of complexity and use you might need or want. So let's talk a little bit about what we do for partners. So from a technical integration perspective, we can provide advice and guidance. We have a great team of partner solution architects who can help partners and advise them on how to approach integration, how to address certain features and functionalities of the platform and make use of them. We have, in August, we took our technical and business fundamentals training and made it available on demand online. In the first 12 weeks of that training being available, we've had well over 1,000 partner people engaged. And they found it, I think, to be a very cost-effective and efficient way of learning about Connect and what to do with it. We promote partners to our sales specialist team. We have a great team of contact center salespeople who focus entirely on Connect. And we make sure that when they talk to customers that they're aware of the partners who have created integrations and know how to position those partners with customers. We also promote our integration partners to our SI partners so that they're aware that they're around and can leverage them when there are capabilities that require them. And then, through trade shows, industry events as well. And then we also have what we call quick start solution packages, so which we just launched the first 4 a couple of weeks ago. And these are basically incredibly easy to install packages of capabilities. So for instance, Pin Drop, which does anti-fraud and speaker authentication, Dialogue Tech, which does call tracking analytics, Aria, which has created a toolkit which enhances and extends the capabilities of a Connect integration with Salesforce, as well as our own streaming application service. And there'll be many more of those to come, because it's a very effective way. It makes it very easy for customers to implement partner solutions. So if you want to be a consulting partner for Connect, what does that mean? Well, to get access to our pipeline of opportunities and for us to bring partners into those opportunities, you need to be a standard partner. You need to understand contact center, and that's not a trivial thing. There are some companies that believe that contact center is not a deep area that requires a lot of knowledge, but in fact it does. So you have to demonstrate that knowledge, because again, the thing we care most about is delighting our customers, and we want to make sure that any partner that represents Connect to our customer can do a fantastic job of satisfying that customer's needs. You need to have a core practice, usually 5 or more people, who are all trained and have passed the online assessments. And then we do a live evaluation of each partner that we consider a go-to partner and validate that they do in fact have the knowledge that they need to engage with customers productively and delight them. And then from a technology partner perspective, again, standard tier partner, you need to create a integration that's documented, reviewed, and validated. We want to make sure that if we represent an integration to our customers, that it really has legs and it's as good as it can be. And then we also have same kind of thing for our AWS Marketplace. And then we take materials that the partners provide, a battle card and a demo video, again, to promote the integration and awareness of the integration, both internally at AWS as well as to our customers and our sales team, customers and SIs. And then, of course, we're starting a reseller program, but it's invitation only. We want to make sure that the partners that we bring in are, again, really familiar and conversant with contact center, that they know how to represent the product at AWS, and that they can deliver the highest level of engagement with our customers. So it's very similar to our standard channel reseller program, but you need to be invited to join. So let's talk for a minute about some customer success stories that also involve 2 of our partners. So back in August, if you remember, Hurricane Harvey devastated Texas and caused immense damage. And after the hurricane, the American Red Cross launched a campaign to provide financial assistance to citizens. And they got inundated with inbound calls. And although they had a number of contact centers, they didn't really have a good infrastructure to accommodate this, this influx and service those customers. And a lot of them were being disconnected, not because Red Cross didn't want to talk to them, but because the system was overloaded. And so starting in September, we discovered that they were having challenges and volunteered to help them set up a contact center that could accommodate the volumes of calls. And because Connect is so easy to set up and configure, we were able to rapidly enable the Red Cross to handle those calls. So essentially, within days of being asked to come in and do this, we had set up a contact center that could address these needs. And 72 hours later, we were staffing or helping them staff the servicing of those calls. So, and this, it may even be more than this at this point, but this was from a while ago when I was putting this deck together. But tens of thousands of calls have been received and processed, and Voice Foundry continues to support this effort and to help the American Red Cross address these victims of this immense devastation. And the second is Lending Home, which our partner ARIA Solutions worked with to set up a production implementation. So Lending Home is, is a mortgage company that was set up in 2013, kind of a new age, a new way, a modern way of addressing customers, trying to make the mortgage process, kind of the innovative and efficient process that it hasn't necessarily been other places, but could be now. And they brought in this great guy named Bob Olson as their chief customer officer, who had come from GoDaddy and IO. And he saw the need for modernizing or improving their customer engagement model, taking systems that might have been less integrated and more disparate and centralizing it into one solution that would delight their customers. So they needed a platform that was cost-effective and could scale quickly, and as we've talked about, Amazon Connect is a platform that does that. And also they needed a partner who understood contact center really well, understood Connect, and also understood Salesforce, because Salesforce was something they very much wanted to use and continue using. And Bob, the chief customer officer, when he saw our launch announcement for Connect and saw ARIA as one of our launch partners, reached out to ARIA to help them make that journey. And so they started out with one department to try it out, again going back to the cycle that we talked about earlier, that offered a combination of Amazon Connect, Salesforce, CRM, the additional functionality that ARIA had created to enhance and extend the functionality of that Salesforce to Connect integration. And it resulted, and as well as our other partner, VoiceBase, so leveraging their ability to do transcription. They had a pilot that was implemented in 6 weeks. The benefits were pretty evident and pretty real. They were able to meet their service level agreements, improve the processes with which they interacted with customers, have one system of record to work with that was much more streamlined and effective. And now they're looking at a phase 2 expansion, which would do a number of things, as you can see here. So we launched in March. Lending Home is in production in, I don't know, is it September, October? Yeah. So it's a testament both to the platform as well as to ARIA that they were able to, and to Lending Home, that they were able to make that happen. And their customer satisfaction survey couldn't get any better than 10. So what are the key takeaways about Connect? Again, it's a cloud contact center platform that is based on an almost decade-old internal platform that we use every day to delight Amazon retail customers, in use by 70,000 agents worldwide. It's not insourced from somebody else or OEM. We built it, and now it's a product. Despite the fact that Connect is easier to set up and easier to implement there's still a lot of opportunity for SI partners, because all the same things that require expertise and knowledge from contact center experts, consultancies, is still true now. In other words, complex routing and IVR strategies, no matter what we do, there's still going to be an art to that and a learned experience that cannot be easily replicated through automation. And also the other thing too is that as enterprises start to implement natural language and AI as part of their customer service platform adoption with Connect, they're going to need the expertise of partners, in some cases at least, to really realize the value of making that next generation advance to delight customers with anticipation of their needs and the ability to speak naturally as they would to their Echo device at home. And again, it's just like with other contact center platforms, Connect is not, it doesn't exist in isolation. It's easier to integrate to and but still requires the same workforce management, CRM, analytic tools that partners deliver with high value and high impact, because there are a lot of areas where we don't have capabilities, but partners do. And again, we've talked about this multiple times, but Lex and AI will advance the state of customer service, I think, to a whole other level. My vision is the ability to use Connect in a customer service engagement where I never have to take my wallet out of my jeans. I never have to look up a number. I talk to the IVR or the AI. I authenticate who I am based on my voice and my phone print. So it knows who I am without me having to repeat a 16-digit number 8 times. I tell the system what I want. I'm happy to talk to an AI. I don't care if it's a live person, as long as I can get what I want quickly and efficiently. And that's my hope for our customers, is that they can realize those benefits and delight customers with that faster, more efficient, natural language interaction. So that's really what I had to say from a presentation perspective. These are some of the other sessions related to Connect, some of which have already occurred, some obviously which haven't, on Wednesday and Thursday. So I encourage you to attend the other sessions if you get a chance. Be a lot of people who know a lot about Connect who would love to talk to you. And with that, I'm happy to take questions. Again, thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule to come hear me talk about Connect. We're very proud of the product, but it's still early days, and we're hoping to innovate indefinitely and deliver even more value and delight to our customers with the product.